It's your biggest fan here, Denim51, and this video will probably be an unlisted video as a response to your video, Real Tears or Make You Chick or whatever you really want to call yourself. But what I actually wanted to talk about is because you mentioned bullying in your video, which I feel it's an issue that I should have addressed in response to yours. And I think one of the things that you actually said in your video was that your friends bullied you, and I think that's one of the first things that you said. And because you said that, it kind of triggered off in my mind and thinking, hang on, they won't really be your friends if they bullied you, kind of thing. But it's understandable to think that you think that they're your friends well, they were your friends at the start because of, I don't know, you didn't probably have much human contact, or you probably thought this is the way normal human beings act or something like that. But I think that the way you're using the internet as an escapism is really good, because it shows that not everyone does that to everyone. And I think at that point you kind of realised that not everyone does that, and then once you figured out that they really weren't your friends, you kind of decided to kind of like dash away and realise that they were bullying you, which is a good thing. I mean, not all humans bully. So another thing I wanted to say is that you said that your teacher did something. Oh, brought you and one of the bullies into a class, which I feel like isn't like the best thing. What I think a teacher should have done is name and shame that person, because what they've done is they basically put you in a room with the bully. The bully knows, only the bully knows, and only you know. And I feel like there wasn't enough exploitation, there wasn't enough exposure to the bully herself or himself, because only they know. They have the choice to bully you more or send other people to bully you more. And what they should have done is, what the teacher should have done is, should have named the person, should have shamed them, and perhaps you know, obviously punished them and use that person as an example for other people. Because I think putting you both in the same room with a teacher is like, it doesn't work. That's what I feel what it does. Because say if, I don't know how to explain it right now, but it definitely, to me, it doesn't work. And I think your teacher should have probably used a different method, because she's done that, she's thinking to herself, well, that's the usual procedure, it means that it's working or whatever. Or it just sounds like she was just doing her job, which she didn't obviously like. And I think you actually mentioned that later on in the video. You say that your teacher didn't actually necessarily care, which I do have to agree with you. If your teacher has the guts to do something like that, I have to agree. Another thing that you actually mentioned, which leads me on to my next one, another thing that you actually mentioned at the end of your video, I think you said something about, oh damn it, how did I forget? You said something about something, which led me to think something else. At the end of the video, you said something like, oh yeah, you said something that the bullies were apparently your friends now. No, not apparently your friends. You said at the end of the video, I'm gonna have to cut this out. You said at the end of the video, oh, you thanked the bullies for what they did, and if anything, you shouldn't be thanking them. They've obviously put you through hell, and it's clearly not something that you would want to be put through again, I'm sure. Obviously, it grew on your personality. You now probably think differently than if you weren't to get bullied, or you would probably become the bully if you never actually got bullied. But what I'm saying is, you shouldn't want to, like, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be ungrateful for what you have and what hasn't happened, but you should be resilient and kind of defensive about what's happening. Like, you should try and stop what's happening and perhaps encourage, kind of, it's just, you shouldn't be able to accept what's happened, because that's when people start getting weak. And like, when I mean getting weak, I mean like, that's when they start accepting more things and becoming lazier in life, and then that falls into depression, and they put less effort into things, and then that obviously leads on to many more psychological things. But what I'm saying is, like, no one wants to be bullied really, or challenged in a way as such. But what I'm saying is, you should perhaps not thank the bullies, because then it's like saying, okay, well, you're thanking me for punching you, I'm going to do it again, or I'm going to do it to someone else. And you don't, I mean, I know one of the bullies are now your friends and you still you were joking around with them, but it's just not right for someone such as, you know, I mean, I understand if a bully now becomes your friend or anything, or if it's joking around, but even if it's like something silly, I mean, it's still bullying, and bullying's bullying, but you got to realise that it has, I know it doesn't really sound effective, but bullying has emotionally scarred you. You know, you could be paranoid for all you know, or you could be highly judgmental, and you would be if you weren't bullied by that time. Obviously, I'm not a psychologist, so I wouldn't know exactly, but I know some of the effects that bullying can have on someone, and often it can give you a negative effect on the world when you're much older, or if you suppress it, which is going to be my next point. If you like suppress the depression kind of inside of you, like you said you didn't tell your parents at one point, but then they kind of guessed what was happening, and you didn't tell, you know, your teachers, but you still got into fights and everything. Sort of that sort of depression will creep up on you when you're older and kind of mess with you, and yeah. And then another thing I wanted to say was that, which led me on to my next point, was that even though the bullies are your friends, the bullies are now your friends, you shouldn't kind of forget what they've done to you, and if anything, you should have a more aggressive attitude towards, I was going to say towards the world, but not towards the world as such, because that may give it like a negative effect, but you should be, you know, if you get knocked down, you just got to get it back up again, but you'll still be injured kind of thing, and I think that's what's happening here. You're being injured, kind of. Totally forgot what I was going to say, so give me a minute. I'll probably skip through all these bits anyway when I'm thinking, so what was I going to say? No, don't worry, we've got about 7 minutes left on the camera, so what was I going to say? You didn't tell anyone, depression, got into fights. Oh, and often with bullying it can affect, like, this is kind of to do with depression, often with bullying it can affect your educational and social side of things, where you may, like, not, like, subconsciously, you may think, like, everyone's judging you, or everyone's going to beat you up or something, but I think the way you used your video, I think, as a closure, as, like, you're finally putting it all behind you, you know, it's finally done and finished, I feel like that's a good thing, because obviously you kind of do need that in the future. You need that sort of closure to get away from it, to finally finish from your problems, so like to finally solve it and get on with it. And it really is like one of those it really is one of those like Halloween movies, and Halloween, like classic of Hollywood theme kind of thing, where, you know, the bully does, you know, stops bullying, and the victim, you know, whatever. And well, I think that, you know, the internet did help you in your case to kind of extend and see human life, to see if everyone does this, and subconsciously you may think that, like, I don't know, everyone's bad and everyone's like, I don't know, this is only at first, that everyone's bad and everyone's like emotionally distressed and all that. Well, not everyone, but I'm glad that you use the internet and YouTube to kind of identify these for yourself, because I think one of the things that bullying requires is that you should, one of the things that you could do to fix bullying is that you should, you could face it on your own kind of thing, like it's like your personal lesson to learn. And I'm not saying like, oh, you have to go beat them up, or you have to go talk to them one-on-one or something stupid like that. No, I'm just trying to say that it's one of those things that you have to kind of do on your own, and it's kind of independent, like, well, you've actually done something that the scientists have recently found out, which is that people who don't necessarily fight back, or people who don't fight back, people who don't, you know, I don't know, argue or just let things go, they are often, you know, if you do it while you're a child, or not a child, but if you do that when you're a young age, you can, what's it, I forgot now, it's like you grow up to be a much more accepting person, which can lead to bad things. So it's not necessarily good, but you've done what scientists have recently confirmed. So that's always a good thing. Oh no, sorry, that's not always a good thing, no. But it's good that you finally kind of you had the bravery to kind of make a YouTube video, and obviously, like, it's not going to stop bullies in the future. It's not going to stop bullies like in the present, if anything. But what it will do is kind of make people more alert, because what happens is bullying is kind of different for everyone. I would expect. So what would happen is people in loads and loads of different situations can't necessarily help, but hopefully they can. If that makes sense. I don't know if it makes sense, but if it doesn't, I'll probably just leave it in the video. But it was really good what you did, kind of thing, like. And one of the things that people say is that you should always get help, and I think that getting help can often lead you to feel weak, and then if the bully feels weak, he or she will get their friends, or close people, like you said, when you move schools to your secondary school, your bullies were the popular kids, and obviously if you're the popular kid, you have more power over the school. Kind of. It's not, yeah, but anyway, yeah, they obviously had more power over the school, and if you tried to ignore them or whatever, if they tried to bully you, they would kind of fight back against you, kind of push you around and whatnot. And I think that when that happens, the bully obviously has more power now, and what can you do if they have more power? Well, you just gotta kind of get back up, like I said earlier. But what was I gonna say? Damn, I just forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, yeah, you're more accepting now of situations, kind of thing, which I don't think you should be, because like you said in your video, oh, if a random person calls you fat or pushes you over or whatever, you wouldn't really care, and in a way that is a good thing. But then, like, I'm not a psychologist, but that could later on lead to obviously more damaging things. But it's nice to know that you don't really care about negative comments, but it could lead you not to give other people positive comments, kind of thing. It's kind of that negative reaction. So I'm not saying that you should care what people think, but you should, I think, try and persuade them, to show them not the light, but show them the way where, like, where the kind of the error of their ways. I don't want. Is the camera on me? Yeah, I don't want to say that they're I don't want to say that they're I don't want to say that they're doing bad or anything, or like anything like that. What you should do is kind of explain to them that I don't know, your weight can be lost, or so. I'm not calling you fat, but I'm just saying, if someone says that your weight can be lost, their stupidity can't be fixed, or something like that. Like, you don't have to even be aggressive, but just to show some sort of sign that you're still human, kind of thing. I mean, being human's not that bad, but there's probably other things I wanted to say in this video, but obviously I don't have enough time, and I will probably upload this video in 3 days, 4 days, 5 days this week. I should have said that. But yeah, I'll probably upload it around this video around then, and then I'll just post it as a response to your video. There's nothing really much more for me to say, but if I do have something to say, I'll probably post it in the description for you to read or something like that. This has been Lennon41. Bye.